Hi everyone. So recently, Korea has been doing quite well with this whole virus situation. Um, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, maybe. We had our first day where we had zero new confirmed cases, and that continued for about a whole week. And then it was about a week or two ago. There was a situation that happened in Itaewon, which kind of like messed things up for us quite a bit. So we were actually getting ready to start opening up schools again. A lot of things were starting to prepare to open up again in the coming month, just because everything was looking really, really good. People were being very careful and stuff. But then there was this recent situation that happened in Itaewon. I didn't read all the details, and I think that's not the most important thing for what I'm talking about today. But as far as I know, there was a foreigner involved. Like, I think he was a US soldier. I don't know. I just know that he is not one of the people who was on the main people in this situation was not Korean. There are some Koreans who are involved, but for some reason, like the media and the public are trying to avoid talking about them, but they're really focusing on this foreigner who was heavily a part of this. So he had symptoms of the virus, and he went to like 5 clubs. I heard he. I don't know exactly how many it was, but I don't know if this was exactly how it was. But what I heard was he went to like 3 clubs in Itaewon and then 2 clubs in Gangnam. But it could be slightly different from that. But I did hear that he did go to at least 3 in Itaewon. Then he went to a few in other places. And regardless of the number, you shouldn't even be going to 1 club because of like how many people there are in a club. Even if you have a cold or a flu, you're still like getting that many people sick. But this is even worse. And yeah, I'm shocked that the clubs are open. Like, I heard they only closed for a week during this whole situation, which is insane. Club is like one of the most dangerous places because you're just around so many people and you're generally gonna be pretty close to them, and it's just such a dangerous place during a pandemic. But anyway, they didn't close. Someone with the virus went to so many clubs. There are a lot more details that I've been hearing, but they're kind of irrelevant with what I'm talking about. But I just don't get why someone would do that. But anyway, they did. It caused another outbreak, and right now they're kind of testing thousands of people. I heard, so last time I checked the statistics was last Sunday, and last Sunday what I heard numbers wise, they were looking to test about 7,000 people, and they had only tested about 5,000 people at that point. I think one of the difficult things with this situation is that people have to voluntarily come up and get themselves tested. And what I did hear is that there was a gay club or a gay bar or something involved in this. So that means a lot of the people who are coming forward are actually gay. And for people who don't know, in Korea, this is actually it's not very widely accepted. And for a lot of people, you can actually get like kicked out of your home. You can lose your job. There's a lot of bad ramifications if you come out. So not only do people have to voluntarily get tested and potentially expose that they are infected, but they're potentially involuntarily coming out. And one of the things is that what the government's trying to do as an incentive to get people to get tested is they're making it so that people who are getting tested in this period, they can get tested for free and they can get tested anonymously. But there is sort of an issue with getting tested anonymously this way because it's not going to be 100% anonymous, I guess. Like, there's still going to be some form of way. Like, what I heard is that the only information they're asking for is your phone number. They're not asking for your name or your address or anything, but your phone number is connected to your social security number and your national identity and stuff. So who knows? Fortunately for me, I have no relation to this event. I haven't been to Itaewon in such a long time, so there should be no reason why I should be affected by this. But I kind of was. It's really small thing, honestly. like what I experience is so small, but it is happening on a larger scale to a lot of foreigners around Korea, and it's really not okay. So I'm I did call it racism in the title, but I don't know. It might not be just straight up racism. It's probably just more like xenophobia or like ignorance. It is that, and that kind of stuff is quite common in Korea. A lot of the time, it's just kind of um, backhanded xenophobia or something. Like a lot of the time, it's not very serious. We get like chased down the streets or you know getting blamed for everything. A lot of the time, like they'll try to compliment you in a way that's kind of like kind of like insulting or something. So it's like when at school we'll be having like it's like pasta day. Like every Wednesday we eat like a special food, and sometimes on Wednesday we'll have like spaghetti and garlic bread. And honestly, the spaghetti tastes like it came out of a can, and the garlic Korean people don't know how to do garlic bread. Like it really upsets me. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Yeah, so there was one of the days when we had spaghetti at school. I was eating it the way I eat normal food. Like I feel like I eat my lunch at school pretty well because I really wanna get out of the room. I wanna, I don't wanna spend my whole lunchtime talking and eating. I wanna go outside and go for a walk, and say hi to some of the students and some stuff like that. But for some reason, they only seem to notice me on the day when we have like really, really Western food. So when we have like spaghetti, because I'll be eating it kind of fast, they'll be like, wow, you eat it so well, it's because you're a foreigner. And like the way they say it, because like I don't know how to translate the sentence properly, but they say it in Korean, and the way they say it, it really does sound like a compliment. But at the same time, it's kind of like a backhanded like jab at because I'm a foreigner kind of thing. And it's like it's one of those things where it's like it's not bad. Like it doesn't affect me that much. I don't care that they say that. Actually, I do kind of care because it's kind of annoying. But it's not like on the level of like racism that like African American people experienced in America like 100 years ago or something like that. It's not that. It's not bad. It's just annoying. Yeah, and it just sucks that hearing certain things really does like get to you sometimes. Like there was like a couple times where I wanted to just like yell at one of my coworkers because they keep making these remarks that are like so ignorant. But it's just like at the same time I feel like it's so petty to get like annoyed and yell at someone about it, so I just kind of keep it to myself. So these are the kind of things that you would kind of deal with as a foreigner. I don't think it's just in Korea as well. I think it's just if you're in a place where majority of the country is one race, it's basically bound to happen because they're not as exposed to it as people are in the West, where we grow up around like hundreds of cultures, and it's strange to be around only one culture basically. But for them, stranger to meet people of other cultures. And I think a lot of the time they are just curious. They don't know much, and they have this like preconceived notion that they have this preconceived notion about other cultures, and it's just I guess it's just what they've grown to expect. And yeah, no one really taught them otherwise. So I guess like it is kind of our job to expose them to the reality of the culture. But anyway, that was a really long tangent. What's been happening is because of this situation recently in Itaewon, a lot of Korean people are I can't think of the word, like blaming foreigners, not blaming foreigners, like targeting foreigners, maybe that's a better word. So I'll just talk about what happened in my school, because what happened with me is really, really mild compared to what's been happening to other people. So what happened with me is so I think on Monday when I came to school, so every morning at the moment when we arrive at work, I think this happens with like all workplaces at the moment, you have to go and get your temperature checked and sign off that you've been checked basically. So every morning I go to the vice principal's office, I check my temperature, then circle my name that I checked it for today. I'm under 37.5 degrees Celsius. And yeah, and then the vice principal asked me like, you didn't go to Itaewon recently, did you? And I was like, nah. She just laughed about it because like I'm sure she knows the kind of person I am, and I think she had an idea that I'm not really a clubber, so she would have been surprised if I had been. So she just laughed about it. She's like, yeah, we just need to be careful, And then I was like, yeah, I haven't been there in a long time. And she's like, yeah, it's fine. Have a nice day, that kind of stuff. So that was it, and I thought that was it, and I was really nice at my school to chill about it. They weren't making a big deal about it. But then as the week progressed, the head teacher of my school, she was trying to she kept contacting my co-teacher about it, like constantly asking her, like almost every day, like asking about me, whether or not I've been to Itaewon, or asking if I go clubbing and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's two things. Like one thing, like I am young, because she did ask about there's like three teachers in our 20s in my school, so she did ask all three of us, even though the other two are Korean. But then she wouldn't stop like pressing my co-teacher about me. Like I was the only one who got the continued asking about it, the continued questioning about it, because she kept contacting my co-teacher asking if I'm going to get tested. And then she kept saying that I'm not going to get tested because I haven't been to Itaewon, so there's no reason for me to get tested. Like honestly, I'm probably one of the safer people in the school, because I'm just at school, home, and supermarket, and that's it. But my coworkers, like they meet their friends, they go to cafes, they go out for dinner with their families, and they live with their families. Their families are all going out to different places each day, and then they all meet up at home. So that's like, they have a lot more risk of it than I do. I'm just at home alone, which is like, it's kind of sad, but like it's safe. And yeah, so she kind of like asked my co-teacher about it like almost every day, but I didn't know about it at this point. It was until Thursday. So Thursday, the city hall of the city that I work in, they sent a message to all the schools in the city that I'm working in, and they basically said that all the foreign teachers in that city, they're able to go get tested at this local, what do you call that? This place that they've designated as the testing facility, run by the government or run by the city hall or whatever. We can all get tested for free there until Friday. So they said it is our choice. Like only if we want to get tested. And I understood that from the email, and my co-teacher also understood that, and she asked me, do I want to? I'm like, no, there's no reason I need to. So then, after that exchange, the head teacher calls my co-teacher, asking us to check the email, and we said, oh yeah, we checked it already. And then she basically asked like when I'm gonna get checked, and I'm like, my co-teacher told her like, oh, he doesn't need to get checked. And then she called several times throughout that day to try and convince us to get me tested. And she resent the email to us, and then she called again saying that the city hall called to ask about me or something. But then my co-teacher called to check on that, and apparently like it wasn't actually like that. Like she called city hall and they said that it's optional. It's not. No one was forcing me to go get tested. And the previous day, she had, because all the schools in the city had to report to city hall about their native teacher, and she reported saying that I'm fine and I'm healthy and all that kind of stuff, and that was it. But head teacher kept trying to persuade my co-teacher to convince me. So I was getting actually really annoyed. I thought like I wasn't going to be experiencing what a lot of other foreigners were experiencing, but here I was experiencing a bit of it, and it was annoying. So I started like ranting to my co-teacher, and what she decided was the best way to deal with it is that even though the head teacher is above us, the vice principal is above her. So she told me to go and speak to the vice principal about it because she was sure that the vice principal would be on my side. So she printed the email that the head teacher sent to us. I took it to the vice principal and showed it to her. And she as soon as she saw the email, she just laughed. And she was just like, why do you need to do that? And I was like, yeah, do I need to do it? She's like, only if you want to, that's what it says. And then now that the vice principal who's above the head teacher said that, I was just like, yes, exactly. Why is this head teacher like treating me like this? So eventually I just like went back and I told my co-teacher and she's like, yeah, so just don't worry about what the head teacher's saying. So yeah, that was dealt with. And now I'm kind of like annoyed that the head teacher was doing that, but it is what it is. It's dealt with. I didn't have to go get tested, fortunately. But there are a lot of foreigners in Korea who are dealing with much worse than what I'm dealing with. So I heard a lot of teachers are getting forced by the school to get tested. There's some that are saying that they cannot come into work unless they get tested. There's another story I heard where someone who was taking care of like the daycare kids. So like right now, because it's school isn't actually on, there are kids who are still coming to school for daycare. They have to wear masks and stuff, and then teachers have to take turns taking care of them. So I saw someone who posted about that they were taking turns on babysitting those kids, and they were taken off the roster, and the email was sent out to the parents or something about the foreign teacher, which is not good. And apparently even the ones who are not even in Seoul, if they had been to Seoul anytime in the last like several months, they were also being asked to get tested. And it's really frustrating, I think, for us right now, because for one thing, it has nothing to do with majority of us. A lot of us don't even go to Itaewon, and then the ones that do, only a portion of them do go clubbing. And then even the ones who do go clubbing, only a portion of them would be going to like a gay club or something. So it's like they're really, really, really heavily over generalizing this right now, especially since like a lot of it is Korean. And it's like they do, in my experience here, I feel like a lot of Koreans, they like to find someone to blame whenever something serious happens, and it sucks, but it is just what happens. And honestly, like I feel like majority of the situation is Korean caused. And honestly, I can't blame them for this, but these clubs were like a lot, especially like LGBT clubs in Korea. I think, as far as I know, majority of them would be Korean LGBT community, just because they don't really have anywhere that they can be open, and the clubs are like their only open space. So it's understandable why they are there, but they are the ones that are kind of like the catalyst of the situation. I don't want to say that they're to blame, because it's like, I don't think it's their fault, but they're the ones who should be being asked to get tested, and they are being asked to get tested. But I do feel like a lot of Koreans don't want to admit that it's them. They just want to blame the foreigners in this situation, and it is really annoying that a lot of them see Itaewon. They see every foreigner and they think that we just all go to Itaewon. Itaewon is the only place we hang out, which is so frustrating, because like Itaewon, like it does have some good food there, but I really don't think it's really that much of a foreigner place as much as people think. It's really like every time I go there, it really feels more of like a African Arabic sort of area with some like actual foreign restaurants mixed in, but more of it, I just feel like it's just African Arabic sort of thing. And then there are some areas with like embassies and stuff that have a lot more foreigners but I think for the most part, like Seoul itself is just a foreigner city. You can see foreigners everywhere. Like I live like on the outskirts of Seoul, and my area is full of foreigners too. So if I wanted to meet foreigners, I don't have to go to Itaewon. There's foreigners everywhere in Seoul. So I don't know why they keep like assuming every foreigner goes to Itaewon. I rarely go there. Most of the time I go there is just because like I crave a certain kind of food that you can only get there, and that would be my main reason for going there. Otherwise, I'd rather just go to like Gangnam or something, because closer to me, and it has a pretty good variety of food, and there's a lot of, actually I don't even care if I'm hanging out with foreigners or Koreans anyway. So yeah, it's just so annoying that, and frustrating, and as a like we're a pretty large community in Korea, and it's just annoying that as an entirety we're kind of being looked down upon in this way. It's frustrating, and I really hope that this situation can start to be overcome more quickly, because this is really tough for us. It's not just for us as foreigners, I mean, but tough for us as a people living in Korea, like us foreigners and Koreans. It's just really tough for us having another outbreak, because everything's getting delayed again, and it puts people on edge again, because we're not on lockdown, so people are in public, and now people are on edge again because there are people out there who are infected and aren't tested yet. So I really do hope that, you know, this situation can be dealt with as quickly and as effectively as possible. I do hope that the LGBT people who get forced to come out because of this situation, I hope that they are like okay. I hope that they don't get kicked out of their families or whatever, because yeah, it's just horrible. Like they should be coming on their own terms, not like this. But as much as I believe that, they have to get tested, and I just really hope that the government is doing a good job of keeping everyone anonymous that gets tested, because it is really hard. Not just like the LGBT, possible coming out as LGBT, but also like some people just don't want to be known for being a part of this situation. So it will be good to keep people anonymous from this. Yeah, so far it seems like the government's handling it not too bad. Yeah, I'm really hoping that we can go back to a somewhat normal life again soon. And yeah, and I hope that no more people are dealing with this like xenophobic stuff that's been going on. It sucks and it's frustrating, but we just need to persevere. It's not the end of the world. It does suck, but it's not the end of the world. We can deal with it. I feel like we've dealt with worse before, so let's just push through, get through the situation, and hopefully start to go back to a normal life at some point. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this another long kind of rant video. I hope that you guys are all safe wherever you are, and that you're following the guidelines set by whichever government that you are under. Yeah, please stay safe. Please keep practicing social distancing, and yeah, stay healthy as well. Eat well and try to do some exercise and socialize a bit. Try to really take care of yourself while we're all in this situation. And yeah, I'll see you again next time.